Chapter 26. Good afternoon, sir. A cheery lad approached the car. The boy couldn't have been more than 10. Here for the cricket, are you, sir? No, just a bit of relaxing. I didn't even know the cricket was on until I got to the airport. You're fooling me, sir. Everyone knows about the cricket. You English are so funny. You know we're going to kick your boys all the way home. We're 2-1 up and no one's going to stop Lara. You think Dean Headley's going to topple the world's best batsman? The boy laughed at the thought that anyone could topple Lara, especially not a bowler unknown to anyone outside of Kent. Steve had no idea what he was talking about, but he smiled with genuine affection as he instantly warmed to the young lad. Anything else I can do, sir? I hope I carried your bag satisfactorily. I should stay here while you check in and then help you to your room. Steve pushed $2 into the boy's hand and thanked him, hoping he wouldn't have to be more forceful about not needing his help. Steve checked in and the boy continued to linger in the background, eager for more work from his new English friend. Good afternoon, sir, and welcome to the Barbados Hilton. The affable desk clerk smiled as he typed another set of customer details into the computer in front of him. Looking up, he became fixated upon the boy who had darted behind one of the largest pot plants, hiding from the staff whilst eager to not lose sight of his latest money-making possibility. One moment, please, sir. The desk clerk was not blind. Look, Charlie, I've already told you, you're too young to work here. You need to go home or I'll call your mother again. Oh, sir, I'm not working. I was just helping my new friend with his bags. I told you before, Charlie, I can't have your teacher coming up here to speak to me again. You have to go home and then please go to school tomorrow. But it's almost the holidays, sir, and you know we need the money. My mama told me it's okay, so you can call her. She'll tell you it's okay, honest. You know I can't help you, boy. You need to go. The lad knew he'd lost the battle. For today, at least, he made $2 from Steve and a few dollars from other guests. While a few dollars meant nothing to them, when added up, it was enough to make the difference for Charlie and his family. He hung his head as he trudged to the door and Steve caught his gaze. If circumstances forced the kid to skip school to work, then he could at least say something nice. Give me a minute, would you? He asked the desk clerk. He caught up with the disconsolate figure, reaching the kid before he made it to the door. Charlie, you need to go to school, but I'm here for 2 weeks, and if you want to help me figure things out at the weekend, come back and look for me on Saturday, okay? Thank you, sir. I'll do that indeed. For the next few days, though, I'll be selling coconuts around the cricket ground. No way I'm going to school when all the tourists are here, but for sure, I'll be back here to see you on Saturday. The charismatic little man had it all figured out. Necessity was the mother of invention. Steve slipped him another few dollars, assuring him that it was a business transaction and a retainer for his services. Charlie beamed. Steve noticed the patched-up sandals hanging onto Charlie's feet. The kid certainly grafted, inhabiting a world devoid of frills. Here was Steve enjoying a free holiday on one of the most beautiful islands in the world. He could certainly spare a few dollars and stooped to return the offer of high five from his newest friend just as a minibus pulled up and the cabin crew from his flight exited the vehicle. Steve was quickly forgotten and Charlie was once again the first to greet the new arrivals. Having been caught by this before, Steve turned on his heels and resumed checking with the desk clerk, who let him know everything was prepaid, including his bar tab. He'd also been upgraded to their best suite overlooking the sea. He'd reached gold status with Hilton and BA months ago, but the hotel chain threw all the frills at its regular patrons. He'd been put in the panoramic corner suite. The brochure boasted that it had 2 balconies, and the picture made it look big enough to host a party for the entire cabin crew, who were now gathering impatiently behind him. Steve thanked the clerk and cast a hopeful glance towards the cabin crew, just in case Isla was there after all. She wasn't. Of course she wasn't. She never was. As with every previous time he looked for her, he remained on his own. He seemed to always be on his own in one way or another. While he didn't want for anything material, in this beautiful place his heart reminded him that he had nobody with whom to share all of it. Under strict instructions to not check his work email, he'd left his laptop at home, meaning there was no work to do and Steve's largely one-dimensional life was all rather suddenly on hold. He checked the brochures scattered over one of the many tables around the suite and resolved to learn to dive and visit the caves to the north of the island, as well as developing a decent tan just to show Tina how he really had disengaged for the whole 2 weeks. A dusk began to fall, and rather than sitting watching it from his balcony, Steve decided on a walk along the sandy beach outside. He'd find somebody to chat to and put a spark into his mood. He could smell the Barbadian aroma from his balcony and wanted to eat, drink and smoke it in for himself. The foyer was busy with another busload of cabin crew checking in, all giddy from their short but boozy minibus ride from the airport. The groups of red-faced men moved with discomfort at the end of another long day spent enjoying too much sun and local rum. Some of them were accompanied by their cricket widow wives, who themselves all seemed to smell like a sickly combination of perfume, cocktails and suntan lotion. This was the last place he wanted to be, and he tried to move through the rabble into the cooling dusk outside. His escape was halted by the clerk, calling him over to the desk. Mr. Lewis, sir, I need to apologise again for the boy. We don't let people, especially children, work here unless they're a member of staff. I don't want you to think we let anyone in. He was apologetic, but the disparity between the haves and have-not did not sit well with Steve. He thought of himself as a man of the people, not a card-carrying Wat Tyler apologist sort who marched with the socialist workers at the first sniff of an injustice. But in this case, who was helping children like Charlie who needed a leg up just to survive? He understood that Global Brand Hotel could not have 10-year-old kids working for them, and assured the clerk that Charlie was both charming and helpful, but he understood. After placating the effusive clerk, his mind was screaming out for a rest. For fuck's sake, get me out of here, I just want to relax. He needed air, but was suddenly stopped in his tracks.